Inside today's podcast, I have with me Dr. Anthony Ratkovic. Tony is a chiropractor and spends his time cracking backs and helping people live pain-free lives. I've had the pleasure of working with Tony off and on for about 4 years now, and it's an honor to have him here today. So, Tony, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, how long have you been cracking backs, and what inspired you to do so?
About 20 years, I've been cracking back to what they call an adjustment, if you want to call it official term. And what inspired me was, I was talking about this morning when I looked at your questions, is my dad loved to work. He was part of the generation of they worked 80 hours a week, right? Pocket protector, you just go to work every day, come home grouchy, tired, whatever it was. I didn't want that for myself. I wanted to stay active. I try to stay as active as possible. I like to work out. I enjoy working out, riding my bike, hiking, whatever it is too. I want to stay physically healthy. And I knew if I worked 80 hours a week or in a hospital or in a long-term care health facility, that wouldn't be hard to do. I want to find a career like a dentist, like a chiropractor, where you can stay physically active, work about 25 hours a week, and still enjoy a family life. And at this point, when my daughter was young, took her to school every morning. I volunteered once a week. I go for bike rides during the week. I have some days off during the week too, among the weekends. So I enjoy life. Yes, I don't make $300,000 a year. Sorry, but I make enough to support my family and just live a healthy, normal life as much as I know. So I think so far, 20 years later, I picked the right career for my personality, my personal needs, but still enough to support my family and what I want my family to have. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. And I like, how what you wanted for your life just kind of works really well with being a chiropractor and, living healthy. So that's really cool.
What's funny, because sometimes they'll ask me like, well, why do you want to become a chiropractor? I go, I want to work 25 hours a week, plus play golf once a week.
Yeah, there you go.
And it just, I guess, enjoying life while you live life, not retiring, not waiting to work your butt off, then retire to enjoy life when you're in your 50s and 60s, versus want to enjoy through the whole process if possible.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with that. And I know lots of people have had major regrets because they worked their whole life. And then as soon as they retired, they became ill. And now they don't get to enjoy their retirement. And it's horrible. It's like devastating. So, yeah.
But I'm grateful I had a chance to do that. Some people obviously don't because they have family to take care of. They have other things they have to financially responsible for, and even people and family too. But being, in my sense, if you had the opportunity, almost if I talk to someone about their career plan, if they're in high school or college, is take a step back. Where do you want to be 40 years from now? What do you want to do? And can you do that now in the process of picking a career that allows you to do that? So that's my 2 cents.
That's awesome. Thank you. Now you've shared with me that your biggest goal is to help people learn healthy routines so that they can be their own best doctors. And I'm 100% on board with that goal, even now more than ever. So what type of suggestions do you offer your clients for living relaxed and healthy lives?
Good. To live a relaxed and healthy life, especially relaxed, I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you to feel like you have to do things that you're uncomfortable with to get your body healthier long term. If you're uncomfortable working out, then how do you start a workout plan? Because in my sense, if you're human, your body does better when you move more, when you're stronger. Your body produces more growth hormone, more testosterone, more estrogen, more endorphins, more serotonin, so your body can feel and be stronger. So can you get comfortable, if you're not already, to become more flexible, move more and stronger over time, whatever your weaknesses are, at that point, get your body to where it gets a healthier state by changing your physiology. Your physiology will not change. Your brain will not change your physiology until you're uncomfortable. So when I say be uncomfortable, do more than you're used to and find someone, hopefully a chiropractor, to help you guide you through that process. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And, I was just sitting here thinking, I totally agree with the idea of getting uncomfortable, but for a good goal.
Yes.
Because I think that's why so many people are unhealthy and unhappy, because they're not willing to put in the sacrifice where it matters. Right. So it's more of like, oh, I'm going to keep toiling with this problem, using all my energy on this problem, instead of getting proactive. And yes, maybe you're out of your comfort zone. Maybe you're practicing something you've never done before. But it has a good benefit.
It's almost like always finding out whatever the problem might be, mental or physical. Look at all the sides, and whatever the solution might be, start doing the solution. Because unless you try something, you're not know if it's going to work or not. You can think all you want about something without applied science, without applied, if you want to call it activity, you're not going to know it's going to work. So what I always recommend people, whatever you think you should do. Doesn't work, try something else. But unless you start the activity and you feel uncomfortable, you're not giving yourself a chance to heal physically or mentally.
Yeah. And on the mental side, spiritual side, emotional side, there's even a chapter in my book called Choose Your Pain. Right? Because, and the whole idea behind that, because, I want people to stop and go, what? Choose your pain. I don't want any pain. It's like, well, here's the bottom line. You're going to have pain in your life no matter what. So you might as well choose the type it's going to be. So am I going to choose the pain that, yes, sure, it's uncomfortable, but I'm growing, either physically, mentally, right? I'm growing to a better place. Or am I going to choose the pain of not dealing with my issues, or, you know what I mean? So
being control situation, control it. So you control the variables. And at that point, we're letting something control you, which I'd rather have something where I have a controlled environment or controlled pain in your sense. I guess I love your book too. Remember I left a review for you. Great book. But a lot of it is, I'd rather, okay, how do I control my pain so I can get through this pain faster, make my body and mind mentally stronger and physically stronger. That point, it just takes time to get there. And enjoy and understanding there's a range where it's good to be uncomfortable, and having someone guide me through that, and being a good, either through their experience or mentoring me, allows you to feel better over time in a controlled environment.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. So having your patients maintain these healthy routines, that's your biggest struggle, which makes sense because of everything we just said. So, and we kind of talked about this too, but why do you think, like, from your end, why is it so difficult for people to keep healthy routines?
Because never been asked to. They've been told to, in their sense, okay, let's go take a pill for it. Let's go take a break. Let's go sit on the couch and do nothing, go watch Netflix for all day and see how it goes for you. It's almost, instead of dealing with the pain and getting rid of it and getting through it, they're putting on the side to let it grow and fester over here. So they deal again, now it's worse. So that becomes overwhelming to them. So how do we make it, whatever the pain is, deal with it now, whatever is going on, so it doesn't affect us and affect us deeper and longer later on? I think most people are told, hey, it's okay, deal with it later, it's not really a problem. When you go through the pain, and now the next part is, okay, now I'm strong for this, what else I can get through? When it becomes almost addictive. I've gone through it, now I want to go through something else. I'll go through another wall. At that point, it makes my body stronger, because they didn't realize the strength they have, the confidence, the self-confidence they have now that they've gone through that pain. They feel better and they act better and they think better. Once you've gone through a pain, you understand what your thinking process was. Now your brain learns that and use that again for the next pain and next pain, next pain. When you put it on the side, let it fester. Now you're feeding that negative thought of, it's okay to leave it over there. It's okay, I'm in pain. I'll take this drug. I won't, if it hurts, I won't do anything. I'll take a day off from work. I'll take 2 days off from work. I'll avoid these people because these people are telling me to do something. I'll avoid completely. I'll find friends that feed my pain versus want me to deal with my pain.
Yeah. And just what I see, what I observe for at least 6 years now is that people just want the quick fix. They just want the magic pill, and it doesn't work. It's not a long-term solution. But it's a whole, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like a whole epidemic of this. No one wants to do any work.
Well, and a lot of it, I think, is they don't, it becomes a social norm, so it's acceptable.
Exactly.
We get out of that to go, okay, how do I find the steps to change my mindset, how I think, and now I can act differently to make my actions change what I want to change. At that point, see the improvement, but it takes the work. If people don't want it to work, the human body, right? The human body, we're all going to die sometime. 2 things my Uncle George told me before he died is, you're going to die and you're going to pay taxes no matter what. Okay, this is America. It doesn't happen. But can we die happy since we've gone through our pains, we've done the work, we understand the work is to make our body healthier and stronger versus do what everyone else does. When you're part of the sheeple, at that point, the sheeple will feed you to stay with the sheep.
Yep.
Can you stay above the average and live on that, if you want to call it that pinnacle, your peak, because now you have the self-confidence to take care of yourself, your own thoughts control you, not someone else's thoughts. I did a talk with a guy named Steven a few weeks ago. He's a happy expert. He does talks and seminars on staying happy. He has something in his ear 24/7. It's giving him his personal positivity in his ear all the time. He has a book in his pocket all the time about being happy, his positivity quotes, his metaphors. So his mindset, he's learned to keep this happy. It doesn't matter what's around him. Can you keep this happy so it keeps you going all the time in a positive direction?
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you that we have created a society that makes complacency comfy. Because it's so acceptable.
Yes.
And that is a huge disservice. We're doing each other a huge disservice by doing that. So even, me and you talking about this today, hey, we're helping people out, right?
Yes.
Because we're showing them, you know what? Everybody has pain, everybody has struggles, but you can do something about them that's not a fake solution.
Yes.
A real solution it's not a manufactured happiness or whatever.
No.
It comes from deep inside.
But it starts with your mindset first. Okay, I want to get through this. And then once you say I want to get through this, you have to ask yourself, how am I going to do this? Once you start asking yourself the right questions of how do I get through this? How do I find the right help? Maybe YouTube video, podcasts like yours. How do I find the right people to help guide me through this when it doesn't feel good, when it feels uncomfortable, when it feels like it's painful? At that point, how do I find the help to get through that when I want to turn back and go the easy route? At that point, I want to push forward, but how do I set it up now so that becomes my passion, my push to get through this over time? So I have mentors or experts or trainers to help me get through this.
Yeah, I've been amazed at the power of asking yourself questions.
Yes.
Oh
Huge.
my goodness. So, it seems like such a simple thing.
Yep.
But when you start doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just because I asked myself that question, now I have an answer.
Exactly.
It's, or like sometimes if I'm too stuck in my head, like I just can't get my thoughts out.
Good.
Journaling is fantastic because as soon as I can get it on the paper and see it in front of my face, I'm like, oh,
there it is.
Okay. So now what do I do next? What's the next step? And you're right. That is a big difference because I think anybody can get motivated for a little bit, right? Yep. And then when it gets a little bit harder than what they were expecting, they fall back.
Yep.
They fall back. And again, I really do think this translates across the board. I don't even think it's just health and fitness, but mentally and emotionally, even spiritually, like I know. So yeah, I mean, the power of questions, writing things down, just taking that moment for yourself, even just to go, okay, you know what? There's something bothering me.
Take a step back.
What is it? Let me take a pause, realize the world's not going to end because I took a break. Yeah. And let me write this down. And wow, I mean, I had a friend that said, does journaling really help you? I said, oh, yes, it absolutely helps me. And I mean, maybe you personally don't need a journal, but for me, there's something about writing your thoughts out that there is a scientific thing behind it. I don't have the details.
It's magic. Basically, our generation, right? We learned how to think and how to memorize and how to pass tests through writing. Our brain developed that way. Generations down the line may not do this because we learned that way with writing on the paper, writing in cursive, whatever it is, or on lines or erasing whatever it is too, or math problems. Our brain has developed that way up to about 21, 22. So our brain knows when we write something, we want to remember it. First thing we want to think about, we want to understand what we're writing. So by writing it down allows our brain to go, oh, let's focus on that. Let's make that our focus right now, not our TikTok or Instabook or Facegram. Let's focus on what we're writing down. So at that point, we can focus on how to find a solution for that. That's why it's so important to do. Or if you're an audio learner, too, it's basically how you learn, right? How do you learn? Audio, visual, writing stuff down, whatever that's called, big word for it, whatever it is. At that point, we focus on how we learn to realize what we're thinking and how do we find, because our solutions are here. We block them with our negative thoughts. So that when we can't find our solution. Let's make our positive thoughts better. The how questions. I feel great today. I'm going to find a solution for my problem. When you make those voices and those phrases louder in your head, the negative thoughts, the ones that hold you back, become quieter and quieter.
Yeah. And it is a practice. It's a practice. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to keep at it. So I was so honored when you reached out to me to be on the podcast. So I thought it would be fun to ask you if you had a favorite episode so far.
I did, and it was a while back. I had one with she was a yoga instructor in Montclair here locally. And this was one of my earlier podcasts. It took it was so long ago. It took about probably to load out the video. It took about 4 hours to download it because it wasn't invented yet, the processing process. But she had done and I had gone to her class too. She had worked with scoliosis kids, especially girls that were doing ballet, that were using ballet in a yoga combination, Pilates, to really get these kids that were in these 24-hour braces in their body because their scoliosis was in their mind and the parents' mind so bad. They helped them understand the benefit of the rehab through Pilates and ballet to get these kids' mindset that they didn't have a problem, to get them to think, okay, I'm getting better. But with kids, as we know, it's based on their improvement in mental physical health is based on their confidence. And by getting their confidence that they could do ballet even with the brace on or the brace off because they have scoliosis, they can cause the improvement. So thinking about this, my favorite part, this one of my favorite ones out there, has allowed me to see there's these, and I had kids too, but not kids with these problems that were able to be helped at such a young age to help their whole life down the line become a better life. And this was probably 7, 8 years ago. Phenomenal lady that run the program too. And she really enjoyed what she did because she was helping kids become better, their whole life get better over time. So that was one of my favorite ones, is someone who's dealing with scoliosis. They use Pilates and ballet to get through these kids to help them build more confidence. So my favorite one.
That is, that's a very inspiring story.
What helped the parents understand, hey, look, my parents doesn't have a disability or a permanent disability. They can't live a normal life down the line because your kid's like 7, 8 years old. And the parents were told they had the problem the rest of their life. They may have to get surgery. They had the whole disability the rest of life. So it gave the parents hope, the kids hope too. It could improve their life. So inspiring.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
very inspiring. Well, Tony, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us today.
Of course.
And tell us, how can we find you if we ever want to get our backs cracked? Maybe find some guidance.
Back crack, the thing you want to do. And what we do, we're based in Upland, California, in the Inland Empire. We're called Euclid Chiropractic, EUCLID Chiropractic. At that point, go to our website, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want to call it. Our YouTube channel, we have everything on there too. If you just put on your phone Euclid Chiropractic, you'll find us somewhere. Okay. Our biggest thing in our office, we have free videos for our patients. We do in-office x-rays. We want you to get health, like you said earlier. We want you to become your best doctor, give you the tools to do that. So that's my spiel. I have my own show, obviously, too. That's I found Miss Vanessa. And at that point, as you have been, Vanessa, thank you for being on the show. And I love all your podcasts. You're helping people, women and men, understand the benefit of staying healthy, getting out of their head so they would get themselves healthy overall. So thanks for having me on your show. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for coming.